All right.
It's being live. Yay.
Hey,
Team.
good morning. Welcome to Earlybird Toastmasters. My name is Pam Scrimshire. I am your Sergeant at Arms today, and I don't have the script that Jim usually reads about we're being recorded. So please have good Zoom etiquette and know that the camera does see all. Without further ado, I will turn the control of our meeting to our presiding officer today, Toastmaster Anna Ilson. Please help me welcome.
Hey.
Good morning, fellow early birds. Let's get this meeting started. Okay. We have an invocator today who is Toastmaster Pam Scrimshire.
Yay.
Please lead us in invocation.
Unmute. Unmute. Ah.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, the invocation is a secular one, but it's been around since the 1954. I think I am unmuted. It was originally the salesman's prayer, but this is the secular version. This is the beginning of a new day. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the beginning of a new day. You have been given this day to use as you will. It's important because you're exchanging a day of your life. When tomorrow comes, this day will be gone forever. In its place is something you have left behind. Let it be something good. Okay. I'm hearing it twice. Is anybody but me?
You've got to turn off the sound in YouTube or something.
Beyond my skill set.
Oh.
Well, I don't know what to do.
Go back and look at the YouTube screen, and somewhere down at the bottom there's going to be
Okay.
sound. It's underneath your other stuff. There's Lois.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
And Elsa's here. Yay.
Hi, everyone.
We're sorting out our technology. We're revving up.
Well, I can turn control of that over to someone else while I look.
If you want to click on the top left-hand side where it says on YouTube, it'll give you a choice to go in there.
Top me. Create sound. Search with my voice.
Well, it says view stream on YouTube, at least on my end. Okay, maybe that's it. I may have found it.
Ah,
I may have found it.
that's the ringing in your
I
head.
do apologize.
No problem.
So many lines of instruction, but one that was not there, but we'll add it the next time. Anyway, thank you. That was the invocation once or twice, or maybe 3 times. And please join with me with the Pledge of Allegiance if we have a flag. Wonderful.
There's a flag right there.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Scrimshire. Now we have a grammarian of the day who is Toastmaster Marie Rock. Would you please show us the word of the day?
Unmute. Okay, the word of the day. Do you see it?
Yeah.
is paramount. It's an adjective, very important, of highest rank or importance. Example, safety is paramount. Supreme to all others, or superior to all others. Supreme, maintaining the secrecy of the agreement is of paramount importance. The word of the day is paramount.
Okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rock. Before we go into self-introductions, we do have a joke master of the day, Toastmaster Alita Richmond.
Thank you, Madam Acting Presiding Officer, among all the other hats. Well, this is a story about something that happened at church. One Sunday, when counting the money in the weekly offering, the pastor of a small church noticed a pink envelope containing $1,000. Well, it happened again the next week. Well, the third Sunday, the pastor watched as the people were putting money into the collection plate, and he saw an elderly woman put the distinctive pink envelope in the plate. This went on for weeks. Overcome by curiosity, the pastor finally approached the woman and said, "Ma'am, I couldn't help but notice that you put $1,000 a week in the collection plate." "Why, yes," she replied. "Every week my son sends me money, and I give some to the church." The pastor replied, "That's wonderful, but $1,000 a week is a lot. Are you sure you can afford this? How much money does he send you?" The elderly woman said, $10,000 a week." The pastor was amazed. "Your son is very successful. What does he do for a living?" "He's a veterinarian," she said. "That's an honorable profession," said the pastor, "but I had no idea they made that much money. Where does he practice?" The woman answered proudly, "In Nevada. He has 2 cat houses, one in Las Vegas and one in Reno."
Thank you, Toastmaster Alita. Now we will go around and do self-introductions. So as I call on you, please tell us your name and try to use the word of the day, paramount. Let's start with distinguished Toastmaster Jim Day.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Jim Day, DTM, and I'm your timer for today. And I noticed that Kip failed this morning in his paramount responsibility by broadcasting the secret code password to everyone that Google said, "Don't do this."
Oh, God.
Back to you, Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Day. Next up is distinguished Toastmaster Kip Barkley.
Well, I thought that was a one-time code that now would never work again anywhere. Gee, well, I've blown security. We'll get the ghouls back. They'll fix the mess. We'll see who takes over in the middle of the week when they look at the recording, because it's in there. No, I guess it isn't, because we didn't have the code to start it yet. We're safe.
Thank you, Toastmaster Barkley.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Jose Ferrer.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and Madam Presiding Officer. My name is Jose Ferrer, coming to you from Madrid, where today is a paramount day and more will be revealed.
Thank you. Toastmaster Alita Richmond.
Madam Presiding Officer, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I am Alita Richmond, coming to you from very cold, only 20 degrees right now, Southwest Pennsylvania. I have completed level 5 in persuasive influence and level 4 in both presentation mastery and engaging humor. Just working. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richmond. Toastmaster Pam Scrimshire.
Good morning, my fellow Toastmasters and Madam Presiding Officers. I am Pam Scrimshire. I am working at level 2 in engaging humor and have stopped working on strategic motivation, realizing I cannot seem to motivate my family, and that's all I've got to work with, and the cat is ignoring me. Now that we all try all these different roles, and then you find out where the little glitches are. So I beg of you, some of you others, become the tech person, because the ghouls have this propensity to toddle off to other countries. Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Scrimshire. Returning Distinguished Toastmaster Mary Helen Day. Welcome back.
Yes, Madam Presiding Officer and fellow Toastmasters, what I believe it's of a paramount importance to write down all the secret codes that we are privy to. We never know when we're going to be able to use them. Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you. Toastmaster Marie Rock.
Good morning, Madam Presiding Officer, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. My name is Marie Rock. I'm a Visionary Communicator 5 and struggling through strategic relationships. It's paramount in Toastmasters to simply be willing to show up and learn things. This is our learning lab, and I'm grateful to everyone who tries new things, and I may try something new next week. Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Marie. Toastmaster Lois Lane.
Good morning, Madam President, presiding fellow Toastmasters, and any guests that we have today. It's a pleasure to be at the meeting this morning and to keep learning as a newcomer and to be present in this wonderful day today. Madam President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lois Lane. Returning Toastmaster Carmine Tuzo. We're so happy to have you here.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. I can't imitate our President Paolo because this arm is really recovering from total replacement. The surgery of the shoulders is like Star Wars now. An hour after surgery, if all is normal, you go home. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So the word paramount had another adjective that I really am using more and more lately. The word was supreme. Supreme. So supreme is used a lot in advertisement. This is supreme. This is the best. And all of that is false advertising. There's only one supreme. It's called the supreme being, the supreme essence, the supreme one. And if you're not in touch with that supreme one, you will run around like a chicken trying to achieve your paramount goals and objectives. So one of the things I've learned is in life, we all are constantly going. But at the end, there's only one supreme. If you haven't found that ice cream, go looking for it at Publix.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tuzo. Guest Elsa, very happy to have you here. Would you tell us who you are, please?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here. I'm in my lunch break visiting from the Netherlands. And today for me was paramount to come to the Toastmaster and give it a try. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Welcome. Thank you. Toastmaster Becky Jo Bean.
Good morning, Madam Toastmaster, Presiding Officer, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Toastmaster Becky Jo Bean. I have no idea what the word of the day is. I'm sorry I was late, but I am supremely and paramountly happy. How's that?
Yeah.
Good job. Okay. And I'm Anna Ilsen, Engaging Humor, Level 3. And I have seen many, many good movies made by Paramount Pictures back in the day. Okay. Are there any announcements for the good of the club?
Well, yes, next week we have a table topics contest. For that, we need contestants, a contest master, a chief judge, and what do we do? A timer, right? We have to use breakout rooms. I can figure that out. We might have ghouls back. And we need contestants. So think about that. It's coming up in 2 weeks, International Inspirational Speech. I'm sure Paulo will be in it. Who wants to compete with Paulo? But whatever. That's my announcements.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Barkley. With that, I will now introduce our Toastmaster of the day, who is none other than Toastmaster Alida Richmond. Let's give her a welcome.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. Here we go. The first meeting of Earlybird Toastmasters in the new year, 2022. Let's see what we're in store for this year. Our president is not here, but I will tell you that Thursday morning is the peak of the week. It's the paramount day. The paramount day of the week. Toastmasters meeting all around the globe consist of 3 portions. There's the table topics portion, the prepared speeches portion, and the evaluation portion. You'll hear more about those as the day goes by. We try to involve everybody in the program. We have helpers today. Our timer, Jim Day, is up in the left-hand top corner. He has raised his hand. You'll hear from him throughout the day. You've already met our grammarian, Marie Rock. Toastmaster Rock, please explain the duties of the grammarian.
Certainly, Madam Toastmaster, the grammarian will note the use of good language, naming the member and the example. The incorrect grammar will be corrected without reference to the member. The best grammar trophy, which will be this talking stick, will be presented to the member who uses correct and/or lively language during any part of the meeting. We do not rewrite speeches nor enter into areas of crutch words. Examples of improper grammar are singular versus plural disagreement, run-on sentences, and overuse of and, mispronunciations, get instead of get, speaking instead of speaking. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rock. We also have an R counter, and that is chaired today by Toastmaster Anna Ilsen. Anna, please explain the duties.
The ah counter is responsible for noting the speaker's verbal pauses, that is the ahs, ers, you knows, likes, etc. The offender will be reminded with this screen. I will report infractions at the end of the meeting. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ilsen. This morning we have 2 speeches, one of them is long, and 2 seasoned evaluators. But first I call upon Toastmaster Kip Barkley, who will challenge us with table topics.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Richmond. Table topics, where I call on folks for a spontaneous answer. Yes. We have timing requirements. Toastmaster Day, what are the timing requirements?
Thank you, Mr. Topic Master. The timing requirements are 1 to 2 minutes with a 30-second deviation only at the end. The green light will come on at 1 minute, the amber at 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red light at 2 minutes. If you see the red light, if you see things flashing, you're just way beyond acceptance. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you so much. Now let's see. Some of us have been in contests, some of us haven't. Someone who must have been in a contest and have an opinion on it would be Carmine Tuzo. Tell us about a table topics contest.
Well, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and Mr. Topic Man. One of the things about living a long time is you get to see a lot of speeches. You get to hear a lot of speeches. You get to evaluate a lot of speeches. And then you become conscious that most speeches are not remembered 2 hours after anybody has spoken. So it's irrelevant. But one of the things I did learn is the impact of nonverbal actions that accompany the speeches. So I remember, going back maybe 40 years ago, a young man, when I lived in Ventura, California, gave an icebreaker. And he brought in a chunk of 25 pounds of ice and a sledgehammer. And he said, "This is my icebreaker." And the ice went flying all over the place. And then he started to tell the story of who he was. Now, I don't remember who he was, but I do remember his smashing the 25 pounds of ice. Another time, another member of that group said, there's certain things in life that will uproot you. And he brought in a gigantic plant and he yanked the plant right out of the planter and threw it across the room. I was like, I don't remember what he said, but I remember what he did. And it's the nonverbals that have impact. Those are the paramount, the supreme, the ultimate supreme of impact and effectiveness. Mr. Topic Master.
All right. All right. Who else must have had some experience in Toastmasters contests? I bet Anna Ilsen.
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I have participated not too often in early bird contests. I don't believe I have participated in a table topics contest, but what I do remember is in the contest, they give you two strange words that usually have nothing to do with each other and that are totally living in bizarro land. And you're supposed to talk 2 minutes about these two words.
Yeah.
So it takes creative imagination and paramount facility for making things up to be able to do okay in a table topics contest. I did once participate in an international speech contest, which it's a misnomer. I thought for the longest time it had to be a speech about international travel or international cultures or something. No, it's just a motivational speech, but it takes it to the level of international competition. That's my experience on Toastmaster contests. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much. Now, someone who's got an opinion on everything. Becky Jo Bean, tell us about Toastmaster contests.
Well, Mr. Table Topic Master, I think I'm offended. That I have an opinion about everything. I'm going to think about that, but I'm not liking that. I'm not like getting pigeonholed. So I want to say a little something about pigeonholing. No, I don't. I don't even remember the question. I was so busy. The minute he said a person who has an opinion about everything, I don't know what it is. I somehow knew that it was me. Oy vey. So I can't get offended if I know that that's me. In my opinion, I think a lot of people avoid contests because they don't want to win, because they don't want to go to the next level, because it feels confrontational. But I think it's a good experience. I've been in some contests. It's challenging. And trust me, we're not the best on the block. There's always somebody around the corner who will just knock your socks off and it's like, oh, what was I doing here? That guy was really good, you know? So and it's good to get out and experience other people in the community and see that although our early bird Toastmasters is really the bomb, we do have some competition out there. Mr. Topic Master.
Yes. I wonder who else might like to be in a table topics contest. Lois Lane, what do you think? Unmute.
I know. Madam Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, I knew you would call on me. When there is a table topic, I think of the table and putting and emptying my suitcase on the table. And today I am in awe of my fellow Toastmasters that can put these interesting paramount topics spontaneously on the table. And I'm grateful to be learning and being the new student in Toastmasters. It takes a lot of effort to be a Toastmaster speaker. I am grateful that I am so interested in all of the beautiful speeches that I am hearing, and it's making me open up to be a Toastmaster on the table topics. Mr. Toastmaster President.
I am impressed. Hey, Ilsa, would you like a table topics question?
I can try, but I have no idea. But yeah.
Sure. Have you ever won in a contest of any kind, ever?
Yes, I did. I did the ones in high school complete, but it's Olympics or something like that. But it was like math and about table topics. I had no idea. The only thing I can imagine is like that it must be difficult because you have to improvise and you have to be creative and then you have to, convey your ideas. And yeah, I'm really, really happy to be here today. I'm having a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to hear others.
Make it to the green. You keep talking till the green.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Well, what else?
Tell us about the math contest you were in.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. This was like a contest where we were in multiple schools, like were competing. So you had to prepare for almost like half year or so. And you have to study different topics, and you had to run like into topics in advance that you were not seeing at the moment, and you have to prepare a lot. And yeah, after that you have like a 3 or 4 hours exam. Yeah, I felt so scared. I felt that I was not gonna make it. I mean, I did make it until I think third place or something like that, but it felt good. Yes, yeah, I felt happy because I also the rest of the year didn't have to study. I really knew all the subjects in advance of the class. So yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Mr. Timer, how did our people do?
Mr. Topic Master, everyone qualified. Carmide, 2 minutes on the nose.
Ah,
Anno, 1 minute, 17 seconds. Becky Joe, 1 minute, 28. Lois, 1 minute, 37. Elsa, 1 minute, 53.
excellent. If we have a poll, that would be great to see. We'll see what happens. We will vote for the person you think did the best job on table topics. I return control.
I don't think we have polls because I don't, unless you're signed in to change them around, I'm not signed in to do that.
Oh, okay. Why don't we just send a
Send
ballot?
them to me, send them to me, because I wasn't a contestant.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Send them to Mary Helen. Okay, control back to Toastmaster of the day, Alita Richmond.
Hooray! Thank you so much, Toastmaster Barkley, to get us all excited about the upcoming Table Topics contest. Let us now take, I think we have time for a 3-minute break to refill for coffee, do what else we need to do, and to kind of finalize the rest of our program. So, Jim, Day, if you'll please let us know when our time is up. Thank you.
So Lita, who am I evaluating today?
That's the determination of the general evaluator, which is
Oh,
Kip Barkley.
that's
But
me.
according, yeah.
What?
Yeah, Marie, this program appears to be screwed up. I'm horrified at this. We're having Marie evaluate herself. That's not right. You're not.
No. Marie will be evaluating Jose. Marie.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Excellent.
We do not have a pathway, but
We'll beat him up. Let his evaluator beat him up. It'll be fun. Yeah.
I need another person or two people to vote.
I'll vote in a minute.
Yeah. So we have 2 speakers, Jose and Kip, and 2 evaluators, Marie and Mary Helen. And let's see, I am what did I say? Am I 10 to 12 or 8 to 10? What did I say? 10 to 12, probably.
10 to 12, Kip.
You
That's
said
what
10
had.
to 12.
Good, that's what I'll do.
We're at 2 minutes mark so far.
Thanks, Pam. I got the recording link.
Ah,
Perhaps
It might be of that recording.
a bad recording.
No, it could be the recording we're making. I'm new.
Oh, okay.
Cross your fingers.
Okay.
I love Marie's reference to our meetings as the learning lab.
Keeps you taking yourselves too seriously.
To try some of these other things because it makes it so that you know how to do it, you have more comfort level, but also the club can use them if somebody is missing, even at the last minute. And every time we do it, if we will write notes, because the Goulds did send me a very nice note, and it may have said mute the YouTube. I may have missed it, but if it doesn't say it, I'm going to add that.
Madam Toastmaster, we're at 3.5 minutes. I don't remember how much
okay,
you
great.
asked for.
Okay, that's fine though. We're ready to get back on the program here. And we now move to the prepared speeches portion of our meeting. Jim Day, I am hopeful that you have received the timing requirements for the speeches. Would you please explain them?
Yes, I have. Jose's speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. The green light, you can have a 30-second deviation at the beginning or at the end in order to qualify. The green light will come on at 5 minutes, the amber light at 6 minutes, and the red light at 7 minutes. Kip Barkley's speech is 10 to 12 minutes. The green light will come on at 10 minutes, the amber at 11, and the red at 12. They have 30 seconds after that to complete in order to qualify. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. We are delighted to have back with us Toastmaster Jose Ferrer, who will be presenting the first speech this morning. The title of his speech is Magi, or Magi, or however. He's going to tell us more about that. He's not particularly working on a particular path, but we're going to get him in touch with that. Anyway, we are delighted. I am so happy to see him again. I always enjoy Toastmaster Ferrer's presentations. Welcome him to the center square, Toastmaster Jose Ferrer.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. It's great to be here. And before I get started, I did want to tell you, I wanted to report, I promised I would. Last week, we had table topics that conveyed different things that we do around the world. And we talked about Madrid and the grapes. And we made it through the grapes. And we didn't choke. And there were 12 grapes that were had. So that's my report. Now, that follows right into what I am going to be talking about today, which is the Magi. It is the Magi. What is the Magi? We also know them as the three kings or the three wise men. Perhaps you're familiar with those. For us in Spain and certain Hispanic countries, it is a very, very important ritual or ceremony or tradition, if you would. The Magi, which came, according to the Christian faith, from the East. And according to the Gospel of Matthew, they came to worship the newborn King of the Jews. They followed a star to the manger where he was born, where Jesus was born. And we've come to know that star as the Star of Bethlehem, which is the star that we put on our Christmas trees these days. Perhaps some of you didn't know that. That is the symbol of that star, the star that took the three kings all the way to Bethlehem. There are three kings, according to our tradition. Melchior, which is a Persian scholar by all means and imaginations from the times and writings of the times. Caspar, who came from southern India, and Balthasar, who was a Babylonian scholar, came from the Babylon area. They all came in camels, and it is believed that Melchior gifted Jesus with gold. Melchior was the oldest. He was around 60, they say. Caspar was around 40, and he gave frankincense, which we know today as incense. And if you've been to a Catholic church, it's very often a smell associated with Mass and with certain times of the year. And Balthasar, the Babylonian scholar, did give myrrh, which was a very sought after and expensive species back then. The theories on the gifts there are two major theories of what these gifts were, and they break down as such. The three gifts are ordinary offerings and gifts given to a king. back in those days. Myrrh being commonly used as an anointing oil, frankincense as a perfume, and gold as a value. The other theory about these three gifts were that they had a spiritual meaning. The gold as a symbol of kingship on earth, frankincense and incense as a symbol of deity, and myrrh as an embalming oil, deity. I think I mispronounced that. Thanks for correcting me on that. So, according to Hispanic customs, we celebrate the Three Kings Day on the 6th of January. Welcome. Today is the 6th of January. And so it is 12 days of Christmas, immediately following the 12 days of Christmas. And in the areas of Hispanic countries, we celebrate Los Reyes Magos, Los Tres Reyes Magos, and children write letters like our children in the US write letters to Santa Claus. They write, the children's here in Spain and other Latin countries write the letters to the three kings. And they provide the letters to the kings, and the kings come the night of the 5th. There are cavalcades all around the different parts of the country with the three kings and the pages, and the kings are throwing candy and sweets out to the families that are watching them. And that night, the kings bring the presents to the children. It is customary that the children prepare food for the kings, leave the food out, typically under the tree or next to the manger. Mangers are very, very used here in Latin countries, along with the Christmas trees. And so we put food for the three kings, and we also, very important, put food for the camels, because that's the only day of the year that these three camels get to feed their camels, and they subsist the whole year round. So in Spain, each of the magi are supposed to represent a different continent. Melchior is from Europe, Asia is Caspar, and Balthasar comes from the Orient. Almost every single town of Spain organizes cabalgatas, as I've mentioned, and the kings and their servants go around giving sweets. But all of this leads us to another very important tradition in Spain, which is el roscón de reyes. This is a fantastic sweet that we see. Let me see if I can click through these things. That's another rendering. That's the roscón de reyes. You can see it right there. It's a wonderful pastry. It is usually had only around the Three Kings Day. And they have a lot of different sweets associated with them. You can see that they sometimes fill them with cream. It's fantastic. And inside each of these pastries, there's one item. Okay, that can be a small porcelain image wrapped in plastic. Whoever cuts into that or bites into it, it is said they will have good luck for the entire year. So we are far away. I can't get you a roscón, but I wish I could. So Feliz Día de los Reyes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Toastmasters, for another very informative, educational presentation. Certainly timely for this. During your introduction, you said something about the day, how important it was, and I knew that this had something to do with that. And lots of information. I took notes. I'm glad it's recorded. Our second speaker this morning is a paramount member of our club. Not only is he our Vice President of Education and a long-time distinguished Toastmaster, Toastmaster Barkley provides us with all kinds of education. He will be doing a presentation this morning from the Educational Best Speaker Series. titled Creating an Introduction. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Kip Barkley.
Here I am. Let me get myself up a little bit off the floor here so you can see me. That's important. Yes, we have these canned programs from way back when, and they are still good. And introductions are good. Why? Because you and I are important. I don't want to just stand up and say, hey, listen up, guys, I got something to say. I want someone else to come in and set the mood, set the tone, and make way so I can be even more dazzling. That is what an introduction is about. You're going to establish mindsets, a smooth transition from whatever went on. If you're at a keynote dinner and the waiter just threw all the food on the floor, you got to transition away from that. And you want to explain, why are we going to listen to this person anyway? Hey, marvelous storyteller, just got back from the moon, did something. Why are we doing this? That's what the introduction is for. What's in it? Guess again. Yes, you do the topic. Well, what are they talking about? Their title and their name. Now, introductions can be different lengths. If you're doing a 15-second introduction, most likely at a Chamber of Commerce meet and greet, you put your name last because no one is paying any attention at the beginning. So after the introducer has blathered on for 15 seconds, and then they say, and now here's Kip Barkley, they wake up and, okay, this Kip Barkley is going to go talk. Now, if it's a longer introduction, 30 seconds or a minute, you've got to put the name in the beginning also, or they're going to wonder why you are standing up talking about a mystery person. So depending on the length of your introduction, you put your name at the end or both the end and the beginning. Well, in Toastmasters, we want even more information. We want to know, what Pathways project are you working on? Because we're an educational program. You're supposed to follow the program, do something, pick a project someplace. After a while, you figure out you don't even have to do them in order, but pick one. It really helps your evaluator. Then, do you have any objectives of this speech that aren't obvious? Are you personally working on something? Is it not obvious why this speech is being done? So we'd put in objectives there. And then timing limits. In Toastmasters, we're always pushing the timing limits. It's what we do. So when you draft this introduction, know your audience. Is it full of right-wingers, left-wingers, some of each? Who knows? International terrorists, a collection of nuns. Who are you talking to? This is very helpful in drafting your introduction. And again, you figure out the appropriate length. And you know, practicing the delivery is not a bad idea, and even getting someone to critique it, especially if it's a delicate audience, you know, of both right-wingers and left-wingers. Yeah, it's good to work on that. It's just going to be better. Now, if you're the introducer, don't make it all about you, fella. Yes, don't give away the punchline. Don't surprise the speaker. Now, when people don't give me an introduction, I talk about the years as a chinchilla farmer in Australia and things like that, which is a miserable setup for whatever speech they might be planning on doing. That will teach them not to give me an introduction. We don't want to praise skills too much. We want them to demonstrate the skills. Cliches, oh, we get enough of those. And hey, we know about these names. It's going to go last and maybe first. Hey, if you're a speaker, show up early. It just keeps the rest of the room from going crazy. Like, do we have a speaker? Do we have to make something up? Oh, no. And, you know, hang around. if they're confused, talk to them. Be chummy. Work the room. Do all these great things. And you always produce 3 copies of your introduction. The first one you send ahead, and it will get lost. So then you come in with another one, and you give to the person who is supposed to actually introduce you. And then you keep a third in case that person loses that one too. And 14 point, 16 point fonts are really good, especially with senior audiences, because they can't see anything. So, as an introducer, you are speaking to the audience. You lead the applause. Well, there will be deafening silences when the audience just sits there thinking, now what? But if you are raucously, yeah, okay, it's crazy, it's silly, and it really works. In Toastmasters, back when we had lecterns, we shake hands, we transfer control back and forth. And as the introducer, you remain giving the appearance of interest in the speak, as opposed to playing with your cell phone, staring out the window, counting the chipmunks on the lawn, things like that. It's just good theater if you, the introducer, actually look like you're interested. But you got to carry the show. The introducer can't make it such a great introduction that it doesn't matter what you do. You got to have an idea. You got to entertain. Just pull it all together. For as you learn this master of introductions, now you can get out there and help other people. You can coach other people who are going to introduce you. It makes for a smoother and more gracious show. Everybody gets entertained. Hey, and who's not important enough to get introduced? Well, we have a touch of time here. Does anyone have observations on introductions? I remember once when the introducer left their notes on the lectern and I preceded her. And so when I left, I carried her notes off. That was very interesting for the speaker. But other experiences with introductions. Does somebody have a thought? Turn your mic on and talk to me.
Yep, I think the introduction is really the foundation. It gets us started, draws us in, we know what to expect, it sets the tone for the whole thing. There's nothing more valuable than a good introduction to get you started on the right tone for your speech. Thank you for your tips on introductions.
Yeah, and if your introduction messes up, don't stand up there after him or her and argue with them or call them a jerk. That's not going to help the flow of your presentation. Recovering from a jerk introduction. No, that's a possible speech, but that is just not going to fly that well. I see Carmine waving his hand. What do you have? Tell me.
One of the things is the big difference between a Zoom meeting and a live meeting. So in a live meeting, the person who introduces the speaker stays at the lectern until the speaker comes and greets them and shakes their hand.
Yeah.
And then leaves the podium. With Zoom, it's all verbal and you could do exaggerated, but that greeting and handshaking, I always felt was very significant in a live meeting.
Yeah. And we're supposed to always leave eye candy at the lectern, always give the audience something to look at to keep them away from their cell phones. Alita, what you got?
Yes, I see that Jose has his hand up, but I just wanted to tag on to Carmine's note about staying at the lectern until the speaker comes. And also the speaker should then stay at the lectern until the Toastmaster comes back. Virginia Hedinger, the mentor of mentors, always said, never leave that lectern unattended because anybody could walk up then and take control of that meeting.
Right.
I never forgot that.
And at Earlybird, we have a tradition of revolutionaries who run up and start yelling free whatever if you leave the lectern unguarded. So that does help. And they may even be speaking strange languages. Jose, what did you have to say?
I just wanted to thank you. I had never considered how important the introduction was. And I had, kind of just laid it off. That's why I never sent an introduction to my speeches, being coy and not giving away what I was going to talk about. I've learned my lesson. Thank you.
You were very skillful. You can still be.
And I have the point, let me
Yeah.
make the point that it's not easy to write an introduction. And as we here at Toastmasters, this is our practice lab, our learning lab. So to write introductions, yes, do not give away your speech, but to make it so that somebody wants to pay attention to you and list all of your attributes without feeling like you're bragging. It's an art. So one more thing to learn.
Yeah. Yes, Alita.
And this morning, yes, that is true. Jose did not have an introduction, but Kip, neither did you on your thing on the website, other than what the speech was. So that's what I used. But everybody is correct who knows the value of the introduction. It entices the audience to listen. So you give a hint of what you're going to talk about, and you do why you have the credentials to make you a credible speaker. This is a great presentation, Kip. I love it.
All right. I'll do more of these if you guys leave the lectern open or if I just ignore this agenda and bounce in. Thank you very much for your attention. We'll return the control back to the Toastmaster of the day.
I did see that Mary Helen had her hand raised also. Did you, Mary Helen, want to say something?
Mary Helen.
Well, I was thinking, if we're all into learning new things as a group on Zoom, which is very intriguing, I think it would be nice to learn how to play music, introduction, dramatic music as we introduce the speaker. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Something special. Anyway, just a thought.
The Goulds have done that occasionally. Jim Gould is good at that.
Yeah, the Goulds have done that. Thank you, Toastmaster Barkley, for that very valuable piece of education. I thank both of our speakers. Did I see someone else who wants to say something? I forgot to encourage all of our members to give feedback to our speakers in the chat. Those were wonderful presentations, both of them. Please encourage them. And now we move on to the evaluation portion of our meeting.
How about the timing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I got my notes right here. Toastmaster Jim Day, please give us the timing report for our speakers.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Jose, 6 minutes, 42 seconds. Kip and company, 11 minutes and 42 seconds, both qualified.
Sweet. Okay. That's great. So Toastmaster Mary Helen Day, will you take the votes for best speaker this morning? Please send in the chat to Toastmaster Mary Helen Day your choice of best speaker this morning. And at this time, we'll move into our evaluation portion. Once again, I call upon distinguished Toastmaster Kip Barkley, who will serve as our general evaluator.
Hi, guys. It's me again. Okay. Thank you for the introduction. I like introductions. Evaluations. We hold up the loving mirror to our speakers and offer them thoughts to consider. They'll consider them or not, whatever they do. Okay. Our first speaker today, Jose Ferrar, will be evaluated by Marie Rock. Oh, timing. Timing.
Hey, everybody forgets the timer.
Everybody forgets.
The evaluations are 2 to 3 minutes with a 30-second deviation at both the beginning and the end. The green light will come on at 2 minutes, the amber at 2 minutes, 30 seconds, the red at 3 minutes, and you have 30 seconds to complete your evaluation. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. Now let us hear from Toastmaster Marie Rock.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and most especially Toastmaster Ferrer. Your speech was an excellent example of something that was very well organized. You started with tying into Toastmasters, your audience, with the table topics from last week and the story of the grapes. Then you went into the big picture of the Magi, as you say, and the scriptural references and the meanings of the kings, etc. So you went to the very big picture, and then you made it more local. In our country, these are the things that we do, these are the customs. So then you brought, and then the final treat was the delicious food. So it was almost like an inverted pyramid where you brought it from the general to the specific. And that was a great way to organize your speech. Jose, you have a wonderful storytelling voice. It's so soothing. I think that I would like to hear you on my Headspace app telling stories so I can relax. You can just have that wonderful storytelling voice. Visual aids were seamless. You had the visual aids of the three kings, and so that kept us focused. This was a story about the three kings. So we focused on that as opposed to looking at different people's backgrounds or your headset or whatever. This was a story about the three kings. They were the stars of your speech. So your visual aids were seamless. Your sound quality is excellent. My small suggestion is that you follow Kip's advice and just figure out how to tie any speech into pathways. It can be as strange or whatever, but as they say, give no speech for free, which means to use everything for pathways credit. But this was a gift. This was a gift to all of us on this day of the Three Kings, that we could understand specifically the important cultural reference of this day. Thank you, Toastmaster Ferrer.
Thank you so much, Marie Rock. Now, evaluating our second speaker, Kip Barkley, is Distinguished Toastmaster Mary Helen Day.
Yes, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially Kip Barkley. Kip Barkley was speaking in terms of using visual aids. In fact, the purpose of his speech was for him to introduce or review basic presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance the speech. Also, for him to demonstrate his or her understanding of how to use presentation software, including the creation of slides and incorporating the technology into a speech. Okay, what do we have here? We have a basic teaching Toastmaster strategy, which, believe me, I don't believe I've ever seen it before, or maybe I've never seen it exactly this way. How to do an introduction, such an invaluable speech that we need to be reminded of over and over again. Why we toss those introductions away. We do not take the time to create them. And oftentimes as Toastmasters, we don't take the time to really give it a little zippity doodah so that speech is anticipated and we are excited to hear the speaker. So this is a great reminder, and I have to congratulate Toastmaster Barkley for doing that. Now, how did he do with the presentation software? Well, I loved it. Now, this is all laid out for him by Toastmasters, grant you that, but it was smooth presentation and he put himself right in the screen. When he did that, I realized that I was paying much more attention than I normally would than if I just saw pictures on a screen. Yes, to have our little faces there, as cute, ugly, adorable, fantastic as our faces can be at times, especially with some of our crazy facial expressions that we are always trying to eliminate on Zoom, and it's almost impossible to do that. But he did a great job, and I was very entranced by his being there in the middle of that screen. Of course, the presentation itself was very smooth. He did a great job with that. And at the end, he ran out of time. Well, who knew he would run out of time, but he did. And so what he did as a true Toastmaster, he jumped in and said, okay, guys, what do you think? Any comments here? We were a little reluctant in the beginning to make comments, but as a group, you know, once we start, it's hard to get us to quiet down. But he did that at the end. He said, okay, this is it. So he called a halt. He saw the timer was giving him the yellow whatever light or whatever was going on at the time. So he was paying attention to the clock, which is a very important thing for a speaker to do, as some of us sometimes ignore the timer completely. But I'm not going to ignore the timer as an evaluator. I'm going to acknowledge them and say, adios, sayonara. Great job, Toastmaster Barkley.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Toastmaster Day, how did the timing go?
Oh, the timing went fine. Marie Rock, 2 minutes, 44 seconds. Mary Helen, 2 minutes, 46 seconds. Both qualified.
All right. All right. And just for the record, I did edit that slide deck. It was a bit long and wordy, so it was still wordy, but it was more personal. So yeah. We have helpers, our grammarian. How did our people talk today, Marie?
Distinguished Toastmaster Barkley, our Toastmasters are exceptional speakers, and I was so engrossed with the entire meeting that I missed any use of improper language. I did hear some lively language, and quite a few people used the word of the day, paramount, including Carmine and Lois. Becky Jo Bean used not being pigeonholed, and we're not the best on the block. Now, Toastmaster Barkley, you had so many interesting phrases, collections of nuns counting chipmunks on the lawn. I was working on my evaluation, and it's still like your language was drawing me in. Pam lists attributes without being, I think it was arrogant. Jose being coy. Alita enticed the audience to listen. Mary Helen Day, dramatic music, cute, ugly, adorable facial expressions. We had some fun language, as we always do. You are a great group to work with. This talking stick for best grammar goes to Distinguished Toastmaster Barkley.
Hey, thank you so much. Let's see, Zoom review of the meeting. Pam Scrimshire was our Zoom host, and others have opinions. What do you see?
Well,
wanna
what I
hear the
saw
ah
was I
counter?
learned how to do it. You want to go back to ah counter?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, did I mess up our counter? Yes.
Okay, I had very few. We did really well. Toastmaster Becky Jo Bean had one you know and one and Toastmaster Jose had 3 ums, 2 you knows, and 1 double clutch. The then. That's my report.
Okay. So Pamela, as for Zoom, you have observations?
Yes, they have gotten it so easy that even a novice can do most everything. And with a little help, we can get better and better. I encourage you, give it a shot. Learn how to do the polls. You have to sign in, but they're easy peasy once you learn how to do them, and you get better with practice. And I'm going to get better with practice. So, or fire me.
Last meeting, I fumbled up the slides in the background and it didn't work. So this time I tried it 15 minutes before going live and it was messed up again. And I figured it out without the audience watching me. So this time I could swing into it and swing back out. It does seem to help with attention. So think about that. Put your PDFs, put your slides in the background and leave room for your head. Okay, let's see. We have a guest here today. Elsa, what do you think about this? You've been here before, haven't you? No?
No, this is the first time. Yeah, so I enjoy it. It was my lunch break, so I really had a great lunch break. I think it's very funny and I think very educational and challenging, I think, because at least for me, I'm not native speaker. So thinking about how to communicate and all the things I learned today about the three kings and introductions were really useful. I think I really appreciate it.
Come back, come back, come back.
You're having lunch. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in the Netherlands,
What
so
city? What
6
city?
hours ahead.
Yeah.
Delft, the Netherlands, Delft, Delft.
Delft.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Very
yes.
good. Toastmasters is a great place to expand your second language because it's all conversational and many, many topics. And we all want everyone to be good. So that's how that works. We had a lovely meeting looking around. We had fumbling with getting into Zoom and I crashing around, but we'll figure it out. The more people that learn this, the better. And you can use it somewhere other than Toastmasters because Zoom is not going away. Okay, let's give it back to the Toastmaster of the day, Alita. You know who it's Aditi? Toastmaster, it's Alita. Yes, thank you. Take your
Thank
moment.
you, Toastmaster. Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Barkley. Wow, what great evaluations, what great speakers, what a terrific meeting. I mean, everybody hates the word great so often. It's just so overused, but the speeches were so informative and educational. This is a wonderful group. This is a terrific learning lab. And I appreciate those who are taking on new responsibilities who share with us the trials that they have to go through and the challenges and how those things are met. And I know that you will continue to encourage others of us to step up and take those roles when we can. Now's the time that we've been waiting for. The winners of this morning's project. Our table topics winner this morning is Toastmaster Anna Ilson.
Yay, yay.
Yay, Anna, yay. Our best speaker this morning is Toastmaster Jose Ferrer. Yay, yay, yay. And our best evaluator this morning is the beautiful Marie Rock. Yay, Marie. Anyway, it's been a delight. I know that we are all hoping for a much better year than we've had the last two, but because of the paramount impact of Earlybird Toastmasters on my life, these last 2 years have been pretty daggone good. At this time, I return control to our acting presiding officer. Well, she is our presiding officer. She's not acting at all. Toastmaster Anna Ilson.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you, everybody. It's been a paramount great meeting. Absolutely. And now of paramount importance, Toastmaster Barkley, do we have a program for next week?
Let's find out.
I'm going to attempt to stop live stream. So